Tell me when we're on. Okay, I think we can call the meeting to order.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before I forget it, we added Seth Howard at 2:30, Road and Bridge, to the agenda. Yeah.
Yes.
Did you have a chance to look over the minutes or any additions or corrections?
I'm gonna look it over. I had trouble pulling it up.
Okay. You want a written copy, hard copy?
Okay. It's September 13th. September 13th minutes.
September 20th.
September 20th.
It's not coming up.
I think it would read better on this here if this was, the quote was in italics. It stated, please accept this letter of official notification, you know, and then it would go to January.
Okay, please. Two. Okay.
On this second page, shouldn't River Bluff be capitalized? I don't know, but, and then on that,
On their thing, and it just had it's lowercase, so.
okay. I don't know, I'm just looking. We do not own the building, instead of did not own the building. It almost sounds like we didn't in the past. I scratched that did and wrote do.
Oh, you don't, okay. I don't know, Pat, do you know this, is River Bluff capitalized?
I think it is.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's two words.
Because on their proposal, it had it all lowercase, that's what I did.
It's stylistic.
I'm sure it's 2 words capital.
Yes, it is 2 words.
I had 2 words, I just had lowercase.
And on the final page, it should be put in the bond
Oh.
indenture.
Sorry.
Those are the only corrections I have.
I don't see any addition corrections.
Did you hear Commissioner Knowles' suggestions? He had 4 or 5 suggestions.
Yeah, no,
Just
yeah,
small little-
I didn't have it. I didn't see any.
Okay. I'd entertain a motion to approve them with those changes made.
So moved.
Been
Second.
Moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Do you have any new business before the board? You want to talk about the Friday meeting a little bit? It's not
Yeah.
so much new business, or I guess it is too.
I came to took Bill's place on the ambulance advisory committee, and got their input on the
Job posting. Job posting.
yeah, the job description. That's the word I was looking for. Job description. There was only a couple small additions and corrections that they had on it, but they were quite favorable. They did say it was a very comprehensive job description, and it was a very positive meeting.
And you felt that the new assistant or the appointed fire chief is on board with it and excited about it? Mr.
Yes.
Graff or B. Graff?
Ted, yes. He was very eager to work with us. Of course, he's interim, but if he would be the new chief there, I mean, I would find it very easy to work with him. He's very professional.
Good.
They talk about like a timeline. I mean, like what they want to see the board
As far as our
hiring and then implementation system.
we mainly just talked about the job description. We talked about the distance that the hire would have to live. You know, I believe that the correction was within 30 minutes of their office, and that was pretty much. They thought the timeline that Wes had brought forward was going to be tight but doable as far as getting our permits, our numbers, and everything down, get these hires, critical hires made, and but they thought it was doable.
Okay. Okay. Another thing I had, I think all three of us got this email from Joni Colwell. It's about the 4-H public service project. They had mentioned a while back about 911 addressing for homes in the county.
I didn't receive that.
She
Is
just
she
sent it.
Is she the one?
Well, maybe
she's-
it might be.
We gave the county emails and Bill's bounced back at her, so I gave her your personal one.
Oh, I
You
didn't.
might get it when you get home.
When I get home, I didn't.
Is
get
it
on my
just came
Facebook.
today or?
Yeah, about 12:40 this afternoon.
Yeah, I wouldn't get it until. Yeah.
We was just talking about the Atchison County 4-H public service project. They talked with us about this quite a while
Yeah.
back about a 911 address signs. So you might want to take a chance to review it. They want to do something on the radio and Globe possibly by October 1st through 8th. That's National 4-H Week.
Mm-hmm.
So they're attempting to get everything in order, and it looks like a good project, to be honest with you. I think it's something we should probably be supportive of.
Sounds like a big project. I mean,
That's something that probably should have been done a long time ago, but it's just like counties you drive in, there's a lot
So
of...
we have mailboxes not addressed, wasn't it? Or-
No, you have there's a number assigned, 911 address number assigned to each house, each location. It's pretty standard practice. You just drive around a few counties, you'll see them. Either on near a mailbox on the post or something designated it.
I think it'd be a good project.
Mm-hmm.
Any other new business before the board? We got 50 minutes before we got Wes coming in.
I have one thing. I know you appointed Jeff as the alternate, or the delegate to the K-Camp meeting, but I do need an alternate. I didn't think about it at the time.
I'm going, I'll be the alternate.
I'll nominate Eric. No.
A second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
I don't remember being at the Cape Camp last year. Maybe we did.
Well, you don't have to go unless Jeff doesn't, if this is
Right, I just don't remember. That would have been something I'd have been interested in.
Here's the agenda, you can pass it.
Do you want to call the treasurer in or is that executive session?
And,
Because we got 50 minutes.
I don't think that's executive session.
No, that's just open. Well, and I was gonna try and look up and see what the amount
28,000.
what the date was. Yeah, that was an estimate. The actual date that we took action on it.
3
Sign
weeks
that
ago.
bill.
Jamie. Wasn't it 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's August 23rd.
Would Jamie know if that's been taken care of yet? She wouldn't, would she?
We were talking about the audit recommendation. What was it 20,000, 25,000?
28,000, wasn't it? 20-some thousand
To adjust
No,
because
they-
the books don't align.
with the treasurer, and we instructed her to do it, and Commissioner Sheila was wanting to know if that was done. I don't know if you would know that or not.
I don't actually see the bank versus the program, so I'm not the person to ask.
I told her about it and that you wanted to see her. She thought it was a different amount than what was on the audit too.
I won't, I don't know, so.
Do you want her to come in?
Do you want her to come in?
Yeah, it's probably a good idea to figure out if it's been taken care of. I believe we took action on it.
Yeah, I believe we did. Is Jack going to be able to come in?
Yeah, he was gonna come over around 1:15.
Okay.
Perfect timing. I guess we won't have to separate them or get a bell. What'd you say your class was on tomorrow?
Gallagher Benefits has a
Oh.
workshop.
At which,
It's at Andover. I debated on going since it was such a long way down there, but here we'll see how this one goes, and then I'll know for future if it's worth going down there or not. But might as well go for one and try it out.
see, yeah.
So their agenda looks pretty good, so.
Michelle hasn't started her courses yet, has she? That's next.
Beginning of October.
Yeah, I was
So
thinking
next
that.
week, I think.
And where are those classes held at?
Chamber, I believe.
I think that's right.
$21,626.
She wasn't over there when I left the message for her to come over.
What was the figure? 21?
Yeah, it's an unreconciled difference between
21,620.
cash held in the bank and the general ledger. The difference between the manual accounting records and computerized are showing 21,626. According to the minutes, it doesn't show that we took a vote, but I distinctly remember we took a vote on that.
I was thinking we did about 3 weeks ago. I know we discussed it.
It's not showing up here in the minutes.
I don't
Did you
remember.
make it, do a vote, or did you want to see Sheila to talk to her about it first?
I think it was left that Sheila's, we were going to have her come in.
It could have been.
Are you saying you voted to have her come in?
Oh, I thought we voted to
have her correct it.
Yeah, correct the difference. We didn't have the dollar amount, but I believe we took action. We needed action to correct that
Mm-hmm.
because that had to be stated in the minutes. I'm pretty sure we took a vote on that. It's not showing here in the minutes. Unless we made one motion to accept the
Honest recommendation.
audit. But I don't even see that showing. So,
Do we need to, do you want to correct that now, or should we wait until after we hear from the treasurer and then see what?
She's
before
not
we-
she's not available today?
She will be, she's on lunch.
I see.
I thought she'd be back at any minute. Any moment.
Okay.
we would have taken a vote to accept the audit as written. I know that. That's not even showing up in here either.
When was that?
I had to go-
August 23rd.
Yeah, actually, this is Tuesday, August 30th was the minutes. This is where it took action. That's when Melanie Tuttle was here. $1:30 on the 30th is when we met with Melanie Tuttle. Do you show any record of voting, taking action? We would have needed to take action to.
I'd have to go get my written minutes. I'll go get my notes.
I know we voted to accept the audit's report.
Yeah, I know.
I know that for sure. Now Sheila, I don't know if we said we needed to talk to her before.
I'm pretty sure we voted on. We didn't maybe set the amount, but the estimated amount was $21,626, and that's a discrepancy on the general ledger between what the bank is showing and what our system is showing in the treasurer's office. So I'm pretty sure we took a vote. So I guess we'll find out. If we haven't, we probably better revise that. Would be my suggestion. Unless Counselor has any opinion on that.
I don't remember whether you took a vote or not.
Sure. At the very least, we should vote to accept
Yes.
the 2015 audit from Reese and Novelli plus the difference.
I know we voted on that.
I believe, yeah.
It's not showing up on the. It's not showing up on the.
The minutes.
Yeah, starting there at 1:30. Going on, I don't see where it.
Did you check the next week? Or
Well,
the
that's
week pr- the
that's
previous-
supposed to be the minutes for.
Or the week before?
Yeah. I mean, it says at 1:30. Melanie Tuttle of Reese Novelli. Those are the minutes. So, if not, I would suggest we probably better vote.
Yes. I'm sure we voted on that too. I'm not so sure that we voted on the reconciliation in the treasurer's office, but I'm sure we voted on accepting the auditor's report.
What time does Sheila usually get back, do you know?
I really something where you actually made a motion to approve the audit.
We probably need to do something, so I'd be make a motion to accept the 2015 audit and closing letter of Reese and Novelli CPA, including suggestions by the CPA.
I'll second that.
And they're moved and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
And then,
Have further discussion with the treasurer about.
yeah, we probably definitely need to discuss, because I know that, our auditor was definitely wanting to make sure that amount, verify the amount, but that unreconciled difference between what treasurer is showing and what the bank is showing needs to be
Same.
corrected. So we can wait, I guess, and take action until we find out what that dollar amount is.
Yeah, especially she's coming in, we might as well wait on that.
Yeah.
Plus we can hear from who's here now, so.
Sure. But we definitely should probably, while it's fresh in our minds, we need to get that taken care of. That
Yeah.
shouldn't wait a whole
It's
lot
went
longer.
on too long.
We probably need the treasurer here present with your request or what you're wanting for this new account, or
I don't know if we need her here or not, but I just need an account set up. And I've sent her 2 messages about getting a new account set up, and I have $1,100 sitting on, $2,100 sitting on my desk. I need to get deposited, so it's not. Last time Jamie and West did them, so I sent her a message and said she couldn't do them anymore. I can't wait 2 weeks with $2,100 on my desk for her 15 minutes to set up an account.
let me ask you.
I have the capabilities to do it, it's just the way we had left it with the auditors, that it was gonna be left up to her to create new funds and revenues, and I can do expenses, but
This 2,100 is something new and beyond what we used to have that we don't have.
Forfeiture money, so out of the road crimes, so the state's been wanting us to, they started a whole new audit process last year during the legislative session because they want to try and steal all that money from us. So to track it better, I think we set up a new account and put it in its own account. That way it's just named that, and that's what it's at.
And so you made the request about 2 weeks?
A week ago today,
you said another reminder on Friday.
Thursday.
Okay. And there's just no response, or? Okay. Has she been absent or gone?
I don't know.
So with the approval of you guys, if you guys are fine with it, I can go set that up account and give her the information. That way he can get his money deposited. But
Well, I would suggest, we'll talk to her today, then if nothing gets taken care of, we'll give you the authority to go ahead and do it, but I don't know why she couldn't do it, but
We've had forfeitures for a long time. Yeah, they were putting a separate account, or in a general account, I guess, not general fund, but just I think it was called special law enforcement. We put other things in there. And
I see.
This last year, they requested a total of what you seized in a certain amount of time period. Well, we hadn't seized anything since I'd been here, so I didn't have anything. But prior to that, I wouldn't know what money that was in there was from that or not. So it was below the threshold of what they were wanting anyway. It's probably going to come up with some session again next year or this year, whatever you call it. Their plans are to try to take it, put it in a fund to allocate it throughout the state, or some type of grants or something like that. They're going to let the agency keep that money, which I don't know how that'll work. And we don't get a lot of it, so it doesn't affect us as much as it does highway patrol and those other counties on the major highways that probably do get a lot of seizure money and drug money and stuff like that.
That was gonna be my next question. What can we use that money for? But it sounds like we're not gonna get much of it.
I'm sorry.
That was gonna be my question. Where can we use that money? But we have to give that to the state.
We don't have to give it to the state yet, but they're trying to make it that way. There was proposed legislation last year to do that, but they're trying to change the law where you have to have a conviction to take that money. So you can't, because they can just do a civil forfeiture right now on the drug crimes or other crimes too, I guess, but and you don't have to have a conviction on those crimes to keep that vehicle with money and whatever. We use it to buy investigative tools for that stuff. But it's just easier to track if it's in its own account and not have to worry about.
So you're just wanting to set up a new account, open a new account to track it better and keep it separate from.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably already one. Was there one already named forfeitures or something like you said?
Mm-hmm. But if you're wanting it in a separate fund, to actually that'll be the easiest way to keep track of it, completely separate.
It's not necessarily, I mean, it's just for the separate, like the fair conceal fees and things like that, we expend that as deposit.
And that's a separate fund, separate fund.
I don't see a problem with it.
It's not.
I don't either. But
I guess once you guys talk to her, if you just want, let us know. We'll get that done.
do you have any other things you want to discuss, or you want to wait for Sheila, or what's your pleasure?
So I need to work on some other stuff, but I'll be back in Tuesday.
Okay.
Could you pop in and see if she's over there yet, if you would, please?
Do you want me to
Thank you.
stay here?
That's up to you. Let's see if she's in.
It's like she might have just sat down. Like, pop in there and tell her.
Ask her if she could come over, please. We probably need to have Jamie come back in as well then, if she doesn't want to do it or whatever reason.
Dirty. Pretty dirty.
What's the capacity of the jail? Full?
Dusty.
Here she comes.
Yep.
Full up. We have a question about setting up a new account for foreclosures, and I'll let you.
Forfeiture.
I didn't know
Or
last
fortune.
time I had the account set up by Jamie and West do it, but they said that you had to do it. I sent an email last week trying to get this set up, have a $200 in gas and deposit.
Sends me.
And sent one email Friday or Thursday, I think. I didn't know if it was okay for her to set it up or what we need to do to get it set up, or hey, any
Are
accounts.
you just doing a new fund? Is that what you're doing there?
Yeah, it needs to be a separate fund because states come down some. They want to track the forfeiture money better, so Maryland put it in some other fund, about this to have a separate fund.
It's not foreclosures.
Yeah, seizure forfeitures.
I didn't see the email,
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm not sure if I got it, or did you send it to county one?
Yeah.
Go back and look and see. Did you list in there like what kind of accounts you wanted?
It just needs to be similar like here.
I'll look at it and see. I don't understand.
I just wasn't sure if it was
Okay.
that time consuming or what, because that's why I came in here and asked them what we need to do, so.
Yeah.
I'll double check and see what that is.
Okay.
We've also, our 2015 audit, so Reese and Novelli had discovered there's that it's an unreconciled difference between what the bank is showing and what we are. And according to the end of 2015, it was $21,626.
I think I looked it up, it's calling by the register. I don't have the same as what she has, I don't think she has exactly what it's all, so.
Okay, but we do need to get that balance to be zero. We don't need to we shouldn't have a reconciled difference. So, do you have the?
I've talked to them about it before too, and so we just haven't ever done that. And she thinks it's probably because when we switched systems way back before I was even treasurer, that there was something off that way, so.
So it's been off that
We've
long?
been carrying it for a long time.
Okay.
Okay. Do you know what the dollar amount is, or can you give
I
us?
can go over that real quick.
Because okay.
Okay, right back.
Sure. Okay.
I'll be up Amy and Dave. Work on some stuff and I'll be back shortly.
Thank you.
See soon.
Well, you should get your account set up today, I would think, and
Yeah.
crowd will take her the money tomorrow or this afternoon. I don't know how long it'll take her to set it up. You should be good to go.
Is there a approximate date? I know I asked you that last week, Pat. I was just trying to make sure I was going to be around for it.
I'll definitely get with you before we set a hard date.
I think she had it 21,626,
Mm-hmm.
and I shows 23,412.79.
Say that again.
23,412.79.
Should we get,
Still clean.
I mean, which figure we're gonna make an adjustment?
Well, I think the 21,626 was at the end of 15. Your amount's probably including something maybe now.
It's been 23,412.79.
Okay.
Thanks, Jack.
Thank you.
Hey, Jack,
We probably need a motion to, get this.
Which amount are we gonna?
That's what I'm saying now. Which one are we gonna use? We don't wanna say we're gonna fix it in the amount of the auditor's number and then be off
2,000.
still 2,000.
Do you want to have Reese and Novelli come back and explain that,
Or could
at
they
least
just,
come back and meet
Phone call.
with Sheila and
Yeah, I think we need to just contact. We need to find out what the amount is, and I think we need to get the amounts reconciled. Okay.
yeah, email her and we'll get back to them. We will
Because we'll
take
have
that
to
put that
take
on
action.
for our agenda for next week, that we need to,
October?
yeah,
Yes.
for next month. Pardon me.
back on the trust fund. By statute, I don't know if it's special, but the statute requires that the forfeiture money be credited to a, quote, special law enforcement trust fund. So, I think it could go, it could definitely go in the general fund or however
No, it can't
the
go
sheriff, but it could be its own line item in there.
So you want to name special law enforcement?
There's already a special law enforcement fund, and I don't know if that's what they used before. When I first started, I asked where the money was from. There's that one, and there's crime prevention or something. I didn't know the difference between the two before, because it wasn't really anything to show what that money, on my side, what it was from. So I don't know if that's where they put it before, but just a whole separate one to be able to track it. We haven't had any since I've been here. We haven't seasoned them, so I haven't had the issue until now. And last year's when they made an issue in the legislative session about it. So
Do you remember what we did with it before?
Now that I read that.
She asked me where it was, and
I
it
asked-
could have been in the, I don't know.
I asked Larry, and he said they didn't have a whole lot, but they had some, and but he wasn't sure either which one I would have been put into. So
I still have the old account numbers on the notebook and see.
there's money in there because I put money in them from Elks donations, things like that. But I didn't know if that was the right one or not.
So can it be labeled special law enforcement forfeiture money? Is that what they're saying? It
Yeah.
has to be labeled special
It has to
law?
be labeled that.
Well, it just says credited to a special law enforcement trust fund. But
That's similar to like Ben's.
that kind of sounds like it does need to be its own fund, though.
So just call it sheriff's forfeiture. Law enforcement.
Or do you want to name it special law enforcement?
That's what the statute calls it. Special Law Enforcement Trust Fund.
Yeah, but 10 years from now,
Look at
the
history
question
on
will be
that.
asked, well, what's this money from? If you put foreclosures, wouldn't it just be simple and you'd know?
Yeah.
just-
Transferred over into this.
Well, if that's the law, though, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it's season,
I can figure out what all that money is.
seizure
for-
and offset forfeiture.
Yeah, I think separate, that'd be the title.
I don't think it was maybe crime prevention or something.
There's crime prevention special law enforcement. Maybe that's what that special law enforcement fund was for. But I know I deposited money in there, and that wouldn't be hard to figure out what I deposited, because that's $1,000, $1,500 checks from the Elks and a couple other events. But so if that's the case, we could leave it as that, and then,
I'll check on that and I'll come to them for sure.
yeah, and I'll see if I can find deposits.
Yeah, but that'd be like a donation, wouldn't that be different than,
Yeah,
because
but
that
I
would
know
be
what that
yours to
counts.
use whatever.
I didn't know what that account was for.
Go and look it up under
Yeah, but you wouldn't want to put
statute.
this in that account, would you?
All depends on the year.
If that's what it was for originally, then that would all be, if there's a way to tell if that's what that money is, that would be the only thing. Because that account is set up outside of the general, it's one of its own, so I don't have anything prior, except, as far as deposit sheets, and those all pretty much handwritten stuff, I think.
Way back when?
Is there anything, it sounds like these accounts are only identified by this major title. Is there any place in these, especially the smaller used funds, for like a footnote of what they've been used for? Because, when we do have, new sheriff come in or new whoever comes in, some of these are a little bit obscure, it sounds like.
Well, now it's easy because you scan them all in, so like, or the deposit is pretty much labeled of where the money came from, so it's not an issue since CIC, but prior to that, it was more just a deposit, and then the handwritten sheet would have what it actually was, which we have. I mean, like digging that out would be.
But it's still, even some of these old accounts, it sounds like we're not really sure what, I'm not picking on you, I'm just saying that that's just from a new guy coming in and hearing this, it sounds like some of this stuff is kind of little, we don't
There's
know what this is for.
Two accounts that Paulina tried to figure out what they were really for a couple years ago, and there's money in them, but we didn't know really
Right.
what the deposits were, what they're expended for, and
Thought we could move it over someplace else.
yeah, because there's money in them, but
That's the reason I said, if there was some way, when we do figure them out, if there would be some place to put a footnote in there or something there that would help in the future.
well, that one that's already in there, a special law enforcement, could be what that's labeled in the statute. Before you create something, let me see if I can find anything. Because there's a couple others I want to ask you about, or try to figure out what we need to do with them, because there's supposed to be some crime stoppers money or something somewhere. I don't know, it was for a fundraiser that was done for Marlat's cabin that got burned down years ago. And there's a bunch of money raised and put into the county and wherever it went, they found out. We found out who did it, and Marlat's were wanting to give that money to that guy that turned it in. So even though there's nothing criminal they can do, but I haven't been able to find anything on it. So except the news article. I mean, I got the newspaper article.
Kind of notation, not both.
Yeah, it was over $4,000 or $5,000. I think that raised that. I had to look at the newspaper article, but it was quite a bit of money.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Sheila. That says it has to be labeled, guys, is that what you said?
It just says it has, no, it doesn't say it has to be labeled that.
Or it's just meaning like it's for the use of the sheriff?
Yeah, and there are limits on, just really for the board's edification, you're not to consider it in setting his budget. He can pretty much do what he wants with the money. Which is similar to the,
Vans, carry conceal,
Yeah.
sex offender.
and the county attorney's diversion fund and
Bad check.
bad checks, yeah.
I always thought like when you made a arrest on something, you confiscated the money, whatever, that stayed within the county, but that's not true, I take it.
It does currently, that's what we're talking about. It does currently go into our hands by a forfeiture process, depending on what the crime is. And most of the time, it's not a drug crime or, the money wasn't made in the means of a crime, then you're not gonna get that money.
Was you gonna say anything to Jack? That wouldn't be in his hands about what transpired out here this morning, would it?
Oh, I can relay it to him
Okay.
later. There's an incident out front with a couple of individuals. Yeah.
But that'd be the police's, wouldn't it?
It could be either or. So either or's jurisdiction.
I'll look to see if I can find any. I know I looked, I looked on a couple of those, I don't know which ones that are off the top of my head now, and that's 3 years ago.
There's no time limit, Pat, when there's a count and it sits there and sits there, that you can't move that money to someplace so we get the use out of it in the sheriff's department?
Well, it would depend on where the money came from, because if the money's earmarked by statute for a specific purpose, I think you can only use it for that purpose. So you'd have to find out where the money came from and then determine if there were any earmarks for it.
So I just have to try to find it.
Hold on for a minute, figure it out. Thanks.
see, or he just turned on?
I know he has a fund for hay when the fires, when they did the fire, the hay, when they were burning the hay. That's a long time ago.
Yeah, it's been quite a while ago.
There was money raised for that, to, you know, find whoever was doing that. 'Cause there's a fund out there on that.
I wonder if that's in the same fund or something.
I wonder if they put your Marlatt thing in the same, but
That's
it's
what-
labeled, it's labeled hay something.
Oh, it is. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Well, they proved who was doing that, didn't they?
Huh?
Didn't they prove who did was behind
I
that?
know Engelman was, didn't he, but I think there's money still in it.
Oh.
It's a hay,
Yeah.
hay fund.
There was a Crime Stoppers or something like that fund in there, but I don't know if there's any money in there.
All depends on where it was put, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that type of deal would have probably expected it to transpire, you know, anytime and then, which you know if it did. Which we still get hard to believe that it just finally came out. Well, let's see if I can read this on.
I'll look and see what's on it.
So what do you do if there's no record showing what that money was meant to go towards? It just sits there from now on?
I'm sure there's something there. I mean, as far as knowing what it was for is probably what it's labeled as. I mean, now like Crime Stoppers was a program, so I don't know if it was, you know, they used to pay out money for tips and things like that, but that hasn't gone on for quite a while now. But if it is that, if I can find something on the forfeitures in that account, then I'll just leave it as it is. And whatever we've deposited, we'll pull out and put it into something else for now. That is in forfeiture.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any other stuff? Did you want to talk to Sheriff Pat? Well, you went.
That was what I was calling him back in for, to
Oh,
just that it had to be a separate fund, and what it was called.
Travis Taylor, went to Karen Trina.
Oh, man. That was a nice one yesterday.
Wasn't that statute playing effect at that point? We
I-
took them where we were supposed to and see you later?
Yes, I think so. It sounds like he got the bad information from the hospital, though, not from Osawatomie, but from KU.
It wasn't like you wasn't coming back by there, so it
Yeah.
wasn't that big of a deal, but
Yeah.
just for future, I think it. Just, not maybe, it's not my, yeah, look.
you're early, but I think we're ready for you.
I figured you'd be ready when you're ready. How are you all doing?
Good.
Excellent.
Good.
Okay. First things first. Take one pass around, please.
before you is the EMS director job position that the advisory board added one small thing to about customer patient care and patient family care up there in position summary. But otherwise, they all approved it and liked it. Thought that it was very thorough. Very clear to agree.
Yeah. Like I said, it's about a comprehensive job description and what any of them had seen.
Yep. And then I also gave you a copy of the unofficial for advisory board minutes, so you can see that they approved this. As far as the salary range that was discussed, they approved that. And residency requirement, which we discussed, they think if you can get them to move to the county, great. But otherwise, go with the 30-minute timeline to get, or a 30-minute time frame to get to Station 1, which is the Epsom main station. The board would also like the commission to do a press release to update the citizens on what's going on, because in the media it was hard for them to understand, so they didn't know if the commission could release a press release.
I thought Care Radio attended that meeting.
They did, and they did. An article they had this morning was actually a good one. It was in favor of what everything was, but there's still some people that don't think that we're just not going to have an ambulance service. They think that we're just discontinued. They don't know that it's state law that we have an ambulance service. So there's a lot of citizens that think that we're just not going to have an ambulance service. So that's why the press release would be a good thing to inform them that it's state law, that each county provides an ambulance service, and that we will have one that's just going to be county ran instead of ran by Texas Incorporated.
I have had a couple people seeing the January 31st date mentioned, and they think we have no service between now and the 31st and then the 31st. And I tried to explain to them, and I think they understand, but that's a misconception in the community.
Yep. So if we could do a press release that would, tell the citizens by state law we have to provide an ambulance service. We are discontinuing our one with Texas Inc, but at the same time standing up our county ran ambulance service. That would probably help a lot of people.
Does that fall under your job description?
Now that would be a PIO, which I'm guessing would be.
Maybe we should discuss exactly what all we want that to contain. I would say that, what Bill's point was that it will continue as is.
Tech's last day is the county's first day, or you're not without service.
Correct.
But I have had a couple people. And what are we going to do between now and January 31st?
Yeah. I talked about this. I mean, we should have done this when we took action voting. I mean, I specifically talked about a press release and some Q&A. I mean, this is right up what people are concerned about. You've heard it too. I mean, the service ending noon January 31st has people spooked. So.
Should contain that there will be no decrease in service,
Lapse in service.
no lapse, or decrease in
Level of service.
level of service. What else should it contain?
That we terminated our contract with Texas Incorporated, which is an outside
Agency or
Contractor. They're a contractor.
private contractor, and that we will be running the service as a county department.
Should we put in there we want to improve the system, or should we wait to see how financially, because we're all kind of just picking numbers out of the sky?
At this point, I mean, yeah, you could say the county plans to improve the EMS service as much as they can. I mean, there's a better way to word that than what I just said, but I mean, yeah, that'd be good to put in there. Improve the service to the citizens.
And reiterate the recommendation of the EMS advisory board.
Yep. And I would also place in there that the county is not unsatisfied with Texas patient care. Just thought it was time to pull that out.
What we'd like to say, but we really can't, is we wanted to approve this system, but financially we couldn't because of the added cost. They wanted to add that ambulance. So with the county taking over, we think that we can approve the service at same cost or below.
Yep. Streamline efficiencies. Yep.
I don't know if this is more of an employee thing. Should we, or do we want to add anything that welcomes any of the people working for tech that are wanting to come to the county, or is that more of a?
We got to open that up to the public, so I think.
Well, I mean, it'll be up, but that. I was just thinking of more of the people that are working for tech now, wondering if they're going to have a job or.
Yeah, they've already got that letter though. So
Yeah.
there right now.
So.
I mean, you could add part of that if you wanted in there.
There's no guarantee, but
Right.
there's no guarantee that, but
Yep. Just open up the application process.
and when will that take place?
I would suggest opening up the EMT and paramedic application process before the director is hired, so shortly after he gets hired, he or she can start conducting interviews and not wait a 3-week period before he or she can start conducting interviews.
So we're going to let that person have the final say as who that's what it should be,
Yes.
because they're going to be their employee. And,
Yeah, we'll do the same thing that we've done here. We'll get a job description built, run through the advisory board and, of course, to the commission, and get it published, I don't know, 2 weeks before that person's start date. So as soon as that person gets hired, then they can start interviewing, would be my suggestion. And I suggested that to the advisory board when we were discussing it. And the advisory board all liked that idea.
What about the billing person? Will that?
The billing person will want to get that on board real quick, like, because whoever that is who's going to be dealing with the billing software to look at. So the second position hired needs to be the billing position.
Well, I was just
in my
wondering.
opinion. So we can get our billing, so we can figure out what billing system we're going to use and get it in place and get that person trained.
Yeah.
let me ask you a dumb question. Is this position going to be busy enough to be full-time, or is this something we should consider bringing that person into the courthouse and doing the billing system plus maybe some of that department that they're in help-wise for like a part-time person? You're looking like,
Depending on what, depending on what is decided, that person could be busy enough full-time.
Like a,
As just billing.
Rearrange departments with how the election goes.
there's some potential efficiencies with emergency management, I think, with that position too.
Yep.
So that person would have multiple duties, probably to justify.
Yep. So,
And it was also discussed that that person would possibly be an EMT or paramedic that would take calls
correct.
also.
Correct.
Oh.
So, whoever gets that billing position needs to be an EMT or a paramedic, because they'll have to be able to understand what they're billing. And at the
well,
same
then
time,
that makes perfectly good sense. And
At
if
the
they're
same
not
time-
doing bills, they could be out on an ambulance call.
So at the same time, if you have a second or third truck out, that person jumps on the ambulance and goes, and then they continue to do billing once they get done with that call. So, my suggestion is that it's an EMT or a paramedic, either one, doesn't matter. So they can run calls that needed also. And if you're not an EMT or if you're not medically certified and you're looking at billing, you're not going to understand it. You're going to understand what the paramedics or EMTs did in bill. So therefore, billing makes it much more challenging.
So we may possibly have that person already in place. Maybe. You know, no comment.
Depending on what happens in the future.
Is there a date of hire on this?
No, we're gonna open it up pending your approval today. And we'll hold it open for 3 weeks, which means the October 7th deadline for when we're gonna close is pushed back. And then we'll conduct the reviews the week after that. And then they'll give their 2 weeks or whatever is required at their current position if they are currently in that position. And then November's in the direction, probably higher.
Have you got a chance to talk to that Terry McCune, I believe his name, if that
Carrie
pri-
McCune.
Kerry McCune, price range is reasonable?
Yes, yes.
He thought it was reasonable.
And so I explained to him what we did to find the average salaries across the state, and he suspected that's what we had done. So I thought it was a fair price range. You won't get a beginner for that price. You'll get someone that's had experience for that price. So you won't get a seasoned director like, for example, he is for that
Mhm.
price. But
Maybe his assistant.
anyway. Okay, so I need you guys to approve that and we'll get it posted today. And then after you do that, I have a few more pieces of paper for you.
Okay, well, I'll make a motion that we approve the job description for the Atchison County EMS Director.
Been moved.
Second.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. So now you can officially send this out or list it. Well, how you gonna publicize it? I mean, what?
It'll be on Career Builder, our website, social media, and HRE Partners, Board of EMS, and there's another,
KAC had usually.
yep.
So you should, yeah, that's
There
accurate.
was
Yeah.
something, the other day, a position available on, KAC comment.
Yep. Yep, so we're in a flood market. Many places are looking for it.
Do we need to sign on one of these for?
2,000 minutes. Okay, so also, I'm gonna make a few renovations to where the building is going to be, which will be in the main entryway when you come into the EMS building. We'll put a wall halfway across that, half of that is the office, a wall, window, door. I went and talked to Corning Construction. This is below the threshold, so I don't have to have you guys sign, but I wanted you to know. For the wall, window, and door, and all that, it's $2,495. And then Gerber Electric has to, which is who's done all of our electrical in the building for us. I need to have a few electrical outlets put in and some data outlets put in, and move a light and move a light switch.
What about heating and cooling? You're gonna have to
Heating
do.
and cooling, there is a
Oh,
vent
yeah.
that goes in there, but I need to add a return air duct. Because there's one return air duct, but it's on the other side of the room, so we will need to add a return air duct.
There is a window there in case of fire. They'd have access to get out.
That window, that room will have 4 windows,
Okay.
and then another big one that you can open. So, correct, there's egress if needed. So, besides the electrical and building the wall and the door and the window and the ADA compliant countertop on the outside of that, I will have to have them run a return air duct into that room, which I haven't got a price back on that yet. Did you have a question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Has there been any glitches to the new ambulance center? Everything's working out great, working out good.
No problems at all.
K-Camp, I have told K-Camp, he said that, because we already have the building furniture and ambulances, so we just need member employees.
Number of employees,
And
okay.
at the time that they start.
Do you, what's your pleasure? Do you want to get a total cost, or you want to go ahead and okay the Carney? This is the only bid we got, I presume.
Yeah, I contacted him because he's the one who's done all the work with the
Oh.
building.
Any input? far as, okay this, wait till we get a total amount?
It's under the required
That's
bid
true.
threshold of 10,000, and it's under the requirement for approval under 2,500. So,
I just wanted you guys to know
yeah.
Okay.
before I did it.
Yeah, appreciate that. I'm okay with it.
I am too.
So I'll get this started because we'll actually get this done and hopefully move the director right into that office, and that's where the new director can work. Originally, I said that maybe we wanted to hold them at a different facility. It'd be good. There won't be a problem with that being there. So this technique is wanting to help us do a smooth transition as possible. So.
Good.
So the new director will go in there until time of switch over or transition, and then the building clerk would go in that office, and the director would go into the other office that's already done. So,
Did we ever do anything with the second building as far as cleaning out some of those walls and
not yet. because
getting
I was-
used?
I mean, we absolutely can. I just didn't know exactly. I mean, there's some stuff stored in there. I mean, sheriff has some stuff in there. I have some stuff in there. EMS has some stuff in there. So it's not a wasted building. But I haven't done any changes that would cost financially until we were 100% sure what we were going to do with it. So no changes have been made. I'd like to put electricity into that building so we can have some lights in there. It's dark, which is not a big expense we could probably do. We just haven't done it yet.
Then how much stuff have we got at the old recycling building? Is it full? You got the boat out there? And
Yeah, I mean, the rescue and recycling side is full, I mean, because you have maintenance, my stuff,
Collection.
election equipment, sheriff has a large
And
amount in
maintenance, I
there.
think, has,
Maintenance has 2 lawnmowers and a trailer and,
well, I have my trailer out there.
so the building's pretty full. So, in fact, the sheriff puts impounded cars in there, and then when that gets too full for impounded cars, then he's put them in that building out there in my office. So we can absolutely pull down those walls on the inside. I just wanted to make sure we didn't pull them down and then decide, oh wait, those would be great storage units for the county. Let's put them back in. So that's what I've been waiting on. But it does need electricity put into it at some point.
Well, I have mixed feelings on that. If it's stuff that we're going to use, I have no problem storing it. But if it's stuff that's never going to be used, why are we wasting valuable space?
We don't have anything that's stored that'll never be used. I mean,
We got the old commissioner's desk, that'll never be used.
correct. That is sitting on the sheriff's trailer still. We should auction that or percolate it or do whatever you guys would prefer, because that stuff is just tying up that trailer. And you want me to, I'll call percolate and we'll get it sold.
I would say anything, and make sure,
What
and
else is on the trailer?
Some old chairs. and
touch with each
desks.
department. and
There'll be
let's have
3
a
more of
say
them
on it.
right here, I think, that go right on.
Yes, I have these chairs. I just need to get them put together and brought up here. So.
Okay.
Yeah, if we're gonna have a sale, let's get with each department, and get the access done.
Purple Wave doesn't do desk things
Yeah.
Oh, I think they do.
anymore. Do they?
Yeah, I've seen stuff on there with
Huh?
I've seen some for sale.
copiers and computers and desks
You
and,
might ask them.
I'll contact them and find out. If not, there's other sites just like the boy that do. All right, I'll send out an email to all the departments to see if anybody else has anything to get rid of, and we can do that. That's all I have. Just job description which you approved, the minutes, and those 2 quotes. The only thing I left is the HVAC. I'll have to cut in and return it back to that office. I don't see that being much money.
Is there like a crawl space under there, or will that have to come through the wall?
concrete.
Over top.
Okay. Yeah, that would be concrete.
Yeah, it's concrete floor, so nothing below.
I was just-
but, yeah.
Speaking before I really thought of where I was going with it.
It's all right. So, and there's enough room for someone your size, not so much my size, to crawl there.
Okay, when we're talking about accounts receivable, when it comes closing time, that money will then be moved for security reasons? Or we probably shouldn't be discussing that on
With
camera.
EMS, there's
Very little
my
cash will be.
experience, almost never cash.
Okay,
Usually it's insurance and then checks. When I billed for rescue, rescue and the ambulance service, I don't ever once ever remember having cash for that, ever. So
And we'll have to set all these accounts up as well too, because these will all be new, correct?
No, we already have them set up in the system. We'll have to add a few more line items, but that fund, that accounting in the general fund is already there.
You may want to have like card swipe abilities though, just
Correct.
if you're using like an HSA
Correct.
card or something like that.
I haven't got that done yet, but we're
Okay.
ready to where each office can accept credit cards. I've just had a few irons on my plate. So,
Okay.
so the plan is to make it to where each office is able to accept credit cards, and that'll include them also. So since we're more credit card age than we used to be.
So now that we approved the job description, you don't see no problem time-wise?
No, I mean, it's still gonna be tight. It really is. But we'll make it happen. I'll help the new directors do everything that he or she needs. So,
Is there anything that needs to take place before the 31st as far as ambulance upkeep on Tech's part, or?
they sent the orange one off to, I told you the injectors were out of the orange mag too. They sent it to one of two places, I don't remember which one. They sent it to Foster Court or the other one they go with to get the injectors replaced. Estimated that'll be a $3,000 charge. But otherwise I haven't heard of anything else that's needing repairs. So we should be good on the budgetary side of throughout the year also. Been watching that.
And the county owns all the equipment in the
The
ambulances.
only thing we don't own is soft cost. So
What's that, soft cost?
airway, medical supplies,
Bandages.
bandages, slings, armor breathers, all that. I mean,
So we'll just buy what they have, or they'll take what they have and we'll replenish
well,
it?
with the DEA regulations, they'll have to take everything that they have with them because it's all when they buy it, they're aligned or assigned to their agency. So they'll have to take everything that they have for the most part. There might be a few things that we can buy from them. Prior to switchover, we'll definitely have all that stuff ordered and have it
Ready to swap out.
ready to swap out.
Have you had a chance to talk to the hospital about the whatever
Medical director.
medical
We
director?
discussed on the ambulance advisory board, and there's Sandra Liggett talked to their ER director, which is their medical director for the ER. He sounded interested. I have to get a job description to them of what medical directors do, just to make sure he's not agreeing to something he's not comfortable with. So we'll send that to them, and then once he sees that, then we'll need to have a meeting with the hospital.
And this is at no county cost? You haven't got that far yet.
Correct.
It sounded favorable, but there was no promise.
But yeah, that hasn't been discussed. I did mention that a little bit, but that hasn't been agreed to, so.
Yeah, and I can't blame them. I mean, that the director didn't want to take on something and then find out there's going to be 10 times more work, so they wanted to see where that
Correct.
was going to shake out as far as.
I'll contact a bunch of EMS agencies and get their medical director job description, look at the same thing that we did here. And,
What about the license? Are we gonna be able to get Tech's license, or do we need to be starting to apply for that? Or have you got
when I
that far?
talked to Carrie, it was, depending on how it was set up, it could quite possibly be transferred. Or we'll have to, I mean, depending on how it was set up, if not, then we'll have to apply for it on ourselves. And I should probably contact TechSync and ask them how their license is set up.
What's the time frame of getting the new license? Yeah, you need to get a hold.
Month process.
Well, you better get a hold of Tech and see what they're planning. Either that or just go ahead and apply for a new one and
Yep. Yep.
get all that stuff taken care of.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Questions, comments?
Will there have to be any, I believe that when we contracted with Tech, it was set up that they would provide an ambulance for like football games and things like that. Will there be anything that we have to like approve? I mean, as commission, like what events that we are going to, we basically have done that through Tech, but I mean, is there anything we're going to have
We'll
to do to
want
think of,
continue doing that through,
like a resolution?
all
or-
the schools. You don't need to do a resolution. Because there's not a dedicated standby for those events.
Mhm.
There's an ambulance there. If some major emergency happens, then we have to pull that ambulance off of that event, then that has to happen. So, do you feel that there needs to be a resolution or anything?
No.
Well, like you could possibly have a Friday night race and a Friday night football game. There may be a time
Well, the rescue squad.
they don't
doesn't
put an
stand by.
ambulance up there.
No, the rescue squad doesn't stand by at the race.
I see.
And they're usually done by the time football starts.
It's supposed to be,
Mhm.
but not this year.
I had another comment that surprised me. Now, you're not going to do away with the park car, are you? They was 100% for the park car, which kind of surprised me. Huh?
From a citizen, or?
Yes. I was surprised.
Well,
Well-
no, you're not gonna do it as a park car
No.
until you would stand up for the second ambulance. So, Karen McHugh did bring up the fact that, and we hadn't discussed this really, if this person's gonna be on call 24/7 and expect to respond from their home, then we will have to provide them with a vehicle. So it's something we need to discuss
We have a vehicle for the,
for them,
yeah.
which you can't. If we were standing up the second ambulance immediately, then you would just use the park car, but you're not gonna.
Well,
do
let's
that.
see. We got a red 3/4 ton Chevy, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
It's already got signage and lights.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get to buy another one now.
Well, maybe.
On call 24/7, 365 emergency.
Fast horse, wouldn't be.
No, no.
Okay, enough funny stuff. Back to business.
So, anyway. So that's something we need to look into. It's non-emergent, I mean, we let it stay surplus, or we can purchase something outright.
Now, on something like that, means that, would this necessarily need to be a four-wheel drive vehicle or an all-wheel drive car, or, I mean, something over that? If they're 30 miles away and it's inclement weather,
Snowstorm,
I mean, that's what I was going
something like
for.
an Escape would be better, or something's four-wheel drive.
Could we possibly update the park car and get something a little bit more equipped and use the park car for that?
I love that you said that, because it needs to be updated. So yes, yeah, that would be the better solution.
Well, then you'd be killing two birds with one stone versus just going out and getting another vehicle.
Yeah.
Well,
So what kind of cost are you thinking there? But I mean, can we equip it a little bit more, but yet have a little bit of medical stuff on board?
I don't think that you need it to be quite as equipped as the Durango is, because they made it to where you could put a person on a spine board in there. That's never going to happen. You can't transport with a park car; it's illegal. I mean, it's not a transport vehicle. So putting that on there, in my view, was a waste of money.
And then you brought up a point one time, correct me if I'm wrong, that
Mm-hmm.
you think another ambulance would be a better than updating the park car or
Yeah, I think
use
that,
it.
offhand, I would think that park car could be used initially until it gets replaced as EMS director or whoever's main vehicle, and then, you know, whatever that next replacement is, be like a full ambulance instead of just like a transfer vehicle. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, we talked about one time about getting the park car and be able to have it do it more, and you thought it'd be wiser to add a full-blown ambulance versus kind of getting the park car that could do certain things but also couldn't do a lot of things.
Yeah, because it's just more functional. If you have like one of the other three that go down, you know, then you've got a fully fledged ambulance. Because I've seen some of those transfer vehicles, those transfer vans. They're small. I mean, they just look like a very older van style ambulance. I mean, you'll see a few of them around, but they just.
And I wouldn't purchase a transfer vehicle because then you're limited to that. Can only do transfers. And so then if you have your other two ambulances out doing a transfer, and then you need a full-fledged ambulance, and you got a transfer vehicle instead of a full-fledged ambulance, you want to stay with Type 3 ambulances, which is what we have. Or you could switch to the truck frame instead of the van body frame, which you're going to have to do here before long because I believe Ford is stopping their E-Series vans. So you have to switch to a truck cab with a box in the back of it instead of a van chassis.
Speaking of that, you've got your emergency truck, didn't you? You got it in? I've never seen it. Have you seen it?
You've literally never seen the truck I drive?
No, that-
the new rescue
Rescue
truck.
Well,
new
no,
res-
no, it's not here yet. No, it's November, and so as soon as it's done, we'll get it.
Man, that's been a long time.
Yeah, well, they had a line. I mean, all of those agencies.
I
had a
seen that the
line.
other day. I said, you know what? Has he got that truck?
No,
I've
no,
never
no.
seen it. Okay.
No, we haven't got it yet. It'll be mid-November sometime when we get it. And so as soon as that happens, I'll bring it up here so y'all can view it before we put it in service.
While we're discussing the park car, if you updated the park car and you had a different type of vehicle, is there much transformation or cabinetry or something that has to be put in there to hold the stuff, or is this just bags set in there? I don't know, because,
Bags.
okay.
I mean, you can put a shelf system in the back of it.
I thought we
So that-
spent some
We
money and
We
did a little extra.
We did. When you put a large cabinet in the back of it that would hold a spine board and all that, but I wouldn't go that expense again. I mean, everything that they have, you can put a shelf system or a storage locker in the back of it to where it keeps everything organized and keeps it secure. I wouldn't spend the money.
Okay, let's, I don't know, I may have to argue that with you. What if you had a blizzard and you needed a power car to get in to get somebody to transport them to an
You
ambulance?
can't put them on a spine board in the back of that.
You
can
can't.
put them in the front seat and drive them out.
What if they're not able to get in the front seat?
Do they adjust the back seat?
Or if it's a cut,
Well, that's what I was wondering, if it was just, when we were talking about upgrading the park car, if that was just designating just a normal vehicle as the park car without,
We need to buy another four-wheel drive SUV to be able to house all the bags and AED and all of the equipment that they have. Would you need to spend $10,000 on a shelf unit in the back of it like you did? No. You could find it.
I would just leave the park car that is there.
That's gonna be
and-
my next question. If you said it needs update, and it probably does, but if we get another one and it does the same thing, it might make more sense to leave the park car as it is and just get
Let me
another.
get the details on the park car, on the miles and stuff. Because if we're up there in the 100 and some odd thousand mile range, even if you update to a new park car and it quits being a park car when you stand up the second ambulance, but then at least you still have a vehicle for the director that's got 120, 150,000 miles on it.
I wouldn't think that you would buy a four-wheel drive for the director.
Well, the only thing would be is if,
If
depending on
there
where
was-
they were and there was a snowstorm or inclement weather like that,
They could be 30 miles and be within our range, and if they're driving 24/7 at night, possible snow, possible ice.
so we don't have to buy a big four-wheel drive.
No, I'd like to be escape.
Did you put that in the job description, the county in front of the vehicle? I didn't see that.
No, it's up to you guys to decide.
That's something to be decided, suggested.
All right.
On an unrelated matter, did you record that Kansas Open Records Act webinar?
Yes.
And how long is it? Do you remember?
She watched it already. I forgot to look, but it is recorded. It's on the server, and we can.
Did you guys want to watch it as part of a work session?
I think it'd be great.
Sure.
So,
Mr. Joe Bowen's supposed to be mounting the TV up there, so you want to wait till he gets the TV mounted, and then we can play it on that computer over that TV,
or go to the ambulance.
or come out to my office and you can watch it out there.
That would probably be a catered event, I would say.
It'd be a little faster if you want to come out there.
I don't think you heard, he said that would be a catered event. Oh, okay.
Sure.
I omitted that. I just thought that was good.
Milk and cookies. Or you can come out to my office and you can watch it out there. It's on in the conference room.
Well, to me, that'd be better, because here we're gonna be looking
Yep.
side, of course, I guess we could move over there, but
I
either
don't know
or.
when he's gonna get this mounted. So, if you want to watch
She did
it
say you was
sooner-
working in here on something this week, so I don't know if it's gonna be
Well, that's
that.
me.
Oh.
That's IT is working on our backup solution that you guys approved. They're
Okay.
installing the equipment in there this week, and so
Okay.
I didn't want somebody to book this room and try and think that they're gonna use this room when people are walking in and out nonstop and cords strung everywhere.
Okay, I was thinking it was Joe, but you know.
So,
So what are you thinking? What do you think? Go out there, during workshop next week, the following week, or?
We could do that. I mean, the only thing would be is we notify public of work session. It makes it a little more of a challenge. You know, if somebody
If
wants
we
to come up and
If we knew how long that was, then we could say like, go out there at 10 and be here by 11. That way, if there was,
We could also be there at 8:30 and still be here at 10 o'clock.
you know, if we wanted to
Mhm.
start early out there, like
That
an
way it
hour.
would-
Enough, 2 hours, I think.
So that wouldn't affect as far as people coming to open, or workshop. Or like today, you know, we're gonna be off at 3, but we don't know what next week is. Go out there and watch it till 5 or whatever.
We could watch it today.
Mhm.
We have it. We take it on to set it up.
I can't do it today.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
time, but I mean, I think we could do it. I just worried about we established, you know, the workshop times, and those are open to, you know, the public. Anybody can come in. So
Well, I think once we
So-
find out how long that really is there, we could set it up then and probably meet early out there. And
Either that or go out on an off day, a Wednesday or a Thursday, or go before workshop or go after. But you never know how long our open session afternoon is gonna be.
I'll find out and let you know.
sounds good.
I think it was an hour and a half. 2 hours tops. All right. Any more questions?
Keep the ball rolling.
Trying to. Trying to.
Thanks.
Have a great day.
thank you.
Seth? I went out over the noon hour and looked at your new salt. That looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm not real tickled about the blocks, quality of the blocks, but as far as the building, and I presume one side sand, one side salt?
One side is salt and sand, one side is salt.
I see.
Sand sits outside.
It's a nice looking building.
Yes, it is. A lot of it there got more in it, so.
Yeah, the floor
Working on
looked,
the approach today. Other than that, we'll let it
Looks
clear
good.
out.
Looks
In a couple
good.
weeks, We'll start filling full and go from there. So, and we still got some more work to do on the blocks, so put the centerpiece in. We want to leave that open so that it can come.
so that middle will go up higher
Yeah,
yet?
it'll go up another 2 blocks.
I see.
So, it's gonna turn out pretty good, so.
Yeah, other than the quality of the blocks wasn't the best, but block's a block, but,
Yeah.
but the canvas and the framework look really good.
And if we ever move to a new facility, I'm gonna pour the walls for the next one, so it'll be nice, straight, even walls. That'll work out pretty good.
Okay, onward to the mower tractor, I guess.
I did make a phone call to the dealers. They couldn't give me anything today. They were gonna look into some of some old leased out tractors, 1 year or 2 old, with so many hours. They didn't know off the top of their head what they had still. Most of the time, once they get them in, it's only a few months and they're sold out of them. So they're gonna look in and see if they have any that are in now or possibly.
I would think they'd be calling them in before long.
And they might have already taken some of
Taken
them
them.
in, but he was
Moved
gonna
them.
look when we got back to the office. I haven't called John Deere yet. I'll do that this afternoon also. Other than that, I don't, you know, I told them to go ahead and get us some prices and a list of what they had without any options on that needed to be on there for the mower. Other than that, I know there's kind of some discussion on other mower brands. That's really the main brand for that type of mower. I mean, there might be some off brands I've never heard of, but everybody around here, that's the mower they use, the Tiger mower. So
It's, who has one? Could we go look at one?
Does Walnut Township have a Tiger mower?
theirs is an older mower, so I'm not 100% sure what it
They
is.
ain't too old, maybe 3 to 5 years.
Okay. I'm pretty sure Leavenworth probably has one.
Mm-hmm.
They have 4 or 5 motors, so I'm sure they have one that's similar to what we need.
1 hour and 32 minutes.
1 hour and 32 minutes.
1:32. Okay.
We could
Thank you.
work, we could work that in before workshop, probably the thing to do. Or that.
Well, you could do it in a workshop. I think I worry about if like somebody shows up and
Well,
we're
what I'm
not
saying
here.
is, let's meet at 8:30. We can watch it till 10.
You
What?
can write it down as you're doing it, because it'll be out on the website.
Okay.
As long as we were here by our 10 o'clock is what,
So you're wanting? I thought you were wanting to do it during work session.
I don't think it matters, I just think it'd be a good idea to watch it.
Yeah, it's a very good idea to do it.
Might be a good idea to invite department heads, set it out 3 weeks or something, and invite some department heads if they want to come and watch it as well.
Yeah, we can invite anybody. I think it's a great idea.
well, we can think on that while we got Seth here and we can
Yeah.
go back
Yeah.
to this.
So yeah, I mean, we can go down to Leavenworth and take a look at them, or if you guys have some free time, you might pop in there and check them out if they don't have them on the road somewhere. Other than that, that's kind of the main seller on those. They're great quality, so they build heavy duty. That's the only brand I've ever heard of going to workshops and everything else. And it's a brand off of Alamo, so it's kind of the same kind of company, just Tiger. They're separate, but they're together companies. So,
Owned by the same.
yeah. But no, I'm not opposed to a used one. I mean, they got the price is looking good on a used one. I'm not opposed to that
I was
at all.
told by a taxpayer that John Deere has got oodles and gobs and they're cutting some fantastic deals. His neighbor just bought a combine, which is far off from the mower tractor, but he would advise to look into a used tractor with a new mower.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not opposed to it at all.
If
Anything's
there's,
better than what we had. So.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think we owe it to the constituents to at least price these and,
Yeah.
look around and if it's not a good deal, then at least we have proof that we've done our due diligence,
yeah,
that we have looked
look-
into this and.
Checked into stuff.
Yeah, and we'll still get the bids on the new ones, and we can.
Yeah.
You know, we'll have those prices. You know, hopefully the same day have the prices for the 2 used or the couple of used tractors. You know, we can make a decision.
So whether it be new tractor or a used tractor, it's gonna have to be sent to this place
Yes.
to be put on. We just gotta make sure that whatever tractor we get, it's got the stuff that needed for that mower to be put on. Okay.
So it's still gonna be shipped out to, I think, South Dakota. It's still kind of a 4-month process, but we gotta make sure that those accessories that will need to be added to the tractor can still be put onto that used tractor, which I wouldn't see why they couldn't, so. But I don't know what the extra cost of doing that now, that it's a used tractor instead of something coming off or brand new. But I told them to give us those options on the price.
Yeah, just check into it. It don't cost nothing to check in.
So, that's where we're at on that. The bridge, I did finally find the number of that one. It's kind of tells it is on Jewel Road. It is a truss bridge. And it sits at a kind of an angle. I believe the project is going to try to turn that to make it without it making a curve to go over the bridge. They're going to try to straighten that. So, yes, it'll probably be right away. It needs to be purchased for this. But
Is that a G or 6?
Hmm?
if you go to Farmington, then you run over Jewel Road. It goes over Stranger Creek.
Yeah, because that's down by Glenn Butler's.
Well, that wouldn't be anywhere near Larkenburg. I thought it was supposed to be south.
Farmington.
Farmington.
Oh, Farmington. Okay,
And
yes.
see, when they said South Farmington, this is actually, you go, that country road that goes south and east out of Farmington and then down. It's not actually that road.
No, it's
That'd be
not.
what, Hamilton?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think Pat asked you, there's no acquisition of ground on this we have to get.
I'm sure, it depends on the plans. If they want to straighten the bridge out to where it runs, or straightens the road out, yes, there will be. But until the actual plans are drawn up and things are surveyed out there, we won't know anything. So it'll be a couple of months before we can get into that.
I had a question posed to me about out here where west of Effingham, we paved the road clear out to Bourbon Road, and there's a T there, right there as it meets Bourbon, that there's been a couple cars go straight on west and go off of that. Are there any like reflectors or anything on on that? Are
There
we
should be. If there's not, we need to get them up. So I'll look into that.
okay? And there may be other places that we have the same thing. I didn't know whether, I know some of the state places that there's a T in the road, they do have reflectors or arrows, chevrons or something there to help turn the traffic. Although there's a stop sign there, evidently they didn't stop. But
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, look at it. There should be. If there's not, I'll get some put up. 'Cause I'm assuming there was some there sometime. Maybe the car was whatever that one's taken them out already.
okay.
We'll look into it. And that lease to purchase, is that,
Well, they still need to approve it. It is, the info you gave me didn't have the year on it. They are 2017 Freightliner dump trucks.
whether in 2016?
Okay.
I believe.
Surely not. You wanted to ask about which trucks were kept and turned in, or you want me to ask that?
Either one of us.
Okay. Yeah, they're 16 because you said if we waited for the 17s, they'd be 8 to 12% more, so they are
I'm
16s.
pretty sure they are.
Yeah, they are. They are. Now,
And also, I did get some values on our trucks that we're talking about trading in. On the 2008 Sterling, we were talking about, they're suggesting they trade in for $30,000. And then the 1995 Ford truck, it's only going to give us $5,000 for it. So, truthfully, I think we'd be better off putting them on Purple Wave, seeing what we can get. I did some research on there, and I would say those trucks could make up to 50, or the Sterling could make up to 40 or 50, I would say.
okay, that we need to make a correction of those minutes because I thought that's what it was. And then you read the minutes where, or you wrote down in your minutes that we were keeping both Sterling trucks.
Well, I don't think it said that we were or weren't. It
We
was
were
suggested. We were
Yeah.
talking,
Oh.
discussing about.
Okay.
No, I just told you I'd come back with some trade values and what they would give us for those trucks. I kind of made the suggestion that maybe we keep both of them, just use those as backup trucks instead of actually selling them.
Talking about Purple Wave, we was just discussing with Wes about stuff at the recycling building, which needs to be kept or what needs to be sold. And I brought up one thing about our old desk. Yeah, it probably needs to go. I said, get with all the departments and let's have us get it. So that might be a time for, of course, you're not gonna get your new trucks till.
Well,
Wally.
we can get our new trucks pretty much any day.
Oh, can you? I thought there was a big.
They were actually wanting to deliver them this week.
Oh, really?
I told them to just, hold off or make sure everything's squared away.
Well, you may get with Wes and then tell him that what you got and what other stuff you
And
got.
Purple Wave's pretty, they come up here all the time. They have auctions every week for government, and so you can put anything on at any time. It doesn't have to be one lump sum. It's just, when you have items, it's nice to group them together so they all do it at the same time. Because you're always meeting people to get things picked up and delivered.
So you're thinking roughly between the truck, those two trucks, you can get 50? There would be your service truck.
Yeah, I would go for just keeping one of the Sterlings for backup and not two, because
Yeah.
I think we're gonna kind of become machinery poor if we keep adding, more backups and more.
Well, if you look at repairs the last couple of
And
years.
30,000 is 30,000.
Yes, it's always been those two or that one. Or
I don't know how you feel about
how do
that.
you feel about it?
Well, I think probably those two you just listed probably best be rotated out, would be my guess.
And that's fine. Either way, I'm fine with it. Yeah, as soon as we get those trucks in and they're up and running, I'll put those on percolate and get rid of them. I just don't want to do anything too fast, so.
Mm-hmm.
So today, we probably need to vote on that, to send that to the banks.
Yeah, I need to get it changed. There's a typo there on the front page. I had 2017 down,
Yeah.
they're 2016s.
Okay, you
We
wanna
can approve it with the
put that on for
change.
next week?
No,
We can
I was
approve it with the
thinking I could
change.
just take it across the hall and
Oh,
get it
okay.
printed.
Yeah.
I heard the rock price is going up pretty good. Have you heard that?
At one quarry it has, Charlie's roll quarry down south, and went up, I'm saying $1 a ton.
I heard $1.50, $2. They'll all do it once it gets out.
Well, we were saying 2017 models.
Well, I thought you'd come to us and said if we didn't do it, the 17s would be
Well, that's the
8.
2018 models coming in. They're always,
Ahead of,
so
Yeah.
I wouldn't think they'd be out with the 18s yet.
I wouldn't either. I would just, are the dump trucks like vehicles, usually August, September's when the new models come out?
I'm not sure, this thing's saying a 2017 model year specified.
We will make damn sure that we got it right when we put it up for lease
Which are
purchase.
It's 2017, if you can read that, that's what it states.
they? I'll take your word for it. If it's 2017, then
It
what we
says
have
on
is
the
correct.
specs, it's gotta be a 2017.
Then that's correct.
I'd entertain a motion that commissioners give me authority to sign off for lease purchase bids through the banks for the 2 dump trucks in the amount of $318,000.
Hello.
Second.
And moved and second, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried.
Do you want to give Paul
Do we need to sign another one?
No, there's just one.
Here's the one I signed, who wants it?
That's the one I'll send down. And my plan was to send it just to the, to Commerce Bank and then every other bank in the county.
Local banks, yeah.
Alright. Is there anything else?
Can't think of anything. You chipping and seal on that west of Effingham?
No, the weather is too cold for the oil. Guys love it for the next 2 weeks. I don't know what we're gonna be able to do. We might just have to hold off till next spring. If we get some warm days, we'll try to do at least a load in the afternoon, but unless the temperature is sitting around 70 and the ground temperature stays above 60, that's our parameters to the oil. So
Okay.
we'll see. I'm hoping to get a warm up here for another, 2 weeks. A warm up will get us completed, so hopefully it comes. If not,
I heard next week should be up in the 80s, so.
if the lows, yeah, that'd be one of the things. If the lows are down in the 40s and 50s and the ground temperature stays low, we won't be able to. But the ground temperature gets back up in the afternoon or something, we possibly go back at it. So
Okay.
it'll be a hit and miss.
You may make note of this, if you have any, I'm not saying you do, but if you have any disgruntled employees about the insurance, we just seen the plan today, and I don't know where in the world they could go to find a better one than what this new one's gonna be.
No, so far everybody's good. A bunch of good employees right now, happy. No upsets on anything. So we got a good crew.
Have you got a chance to get on the sheriff's car yet for the fuel pump?
Yes, I believe it's completed. It's sitting out there.
I seen it was sitting out there, I didn't know if it was done or if it was still waiting to get done. Does the sheriff know it's done?
Yes, I think he talked to,
Okay.
I'm sure. this morning.
Okay, all right, good.
So you're kind of full up on employees now again, or?
We got our last one hired this week, so we'll start
first of next week, if not Thursday, after the training, so.
Okay.
And we're fully staffed.
Okay, good.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. I should ask about that fuel bid. Don't we start looking at fuel bids about this time of year?
Well, we can ask him that next time he comes in.
It's usually late in the year. Usually
Really
November.
I was thinking it was in November, October, November.
I think we want to kind of review, last year we had a confusion over, remember
One,
the
two, died.
dyed and
Or
road
winterized,
diesel,
winterized.
winterized, not winterized,
Yes.
and everything. I think we want to definitely review that with who we send it out to and make sure that maybe
Yep.
have them look at the contract before and see if they have any questions about it before they actually put the
We
bids out.
definitely want to make sure that we have some fuel that don't gel up for our graders when it's cold.
Yeah.
Well, he just needs to have his bid specs correct when he sends them out, because you can't really coach. You shouldn't be coaching companies that are bidding on it. This is how we.
Well, I think there was some question last year, and maybe that's not the correct way of doing it. I'm just saying that I think I was told that they didn't feel they were bidding apples to apples. So maybe it's not going through
Well-
them, but getting those specs.
I think what it
Clarified.
was, the big problem was last year, we had the bids, and then I think I brought it up as this fuel that won't gel up. Well, no. I said, well, you need to have some of that. So then we kind of went out and rebid it again, and there was some advantage to the people that didn't get the first bid. As it turned out, I think the same person got the bid, but I think that's where the confusion was.
Mhm.
So we definitely need a little bit more clear, set the bids out one time. Whoever comes in the most competitive,
Right.
that's where we go.
Yeah, I just stated that, just,
Yes,
you know, I just, we're wanting the same thing. I don't know if that was quite correct how I went about it.
Any old or unfinished business before the board? Hearing none. Any county councilor update? Probably, we should.
AT&T.
Executive session probably,
Um,
or not?
Depends on how detailed you want to be. If,
Depends on, he missed out on all of it, so
yeah, probably would be. I don't think it needs to be long.
20 minutes, 15 minutes?
Sure.
I'd entertain a motion we go into executive session. What would be the matter?
Attorney-client.
Attorney-client for 20 minutes, coming out at, say, 3:10. That's 21 minutes. With commissioners and county councilor.
So move.
Some second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. You want to shut the camera off? Are we on?
Should be on now, yes.
Okay, I entertain a motion that we go back into open session at 3:16. We went out at executive session at 3:14. Eric made the motion and Jeff seconded. Motion carried to go back into open session. Now I'd entertain a motion that we give Pat, county councilor, authority to go into arbitration with AT&T over the phone bill.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. You'll keep an update, or we'll see a draft of the letter?
You'll
or
see it next week.
Okay. I think we're ready for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and second. We officially adjourned at 3:18. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried 3-0. We are officially adjourned.